Hello YouTube, and welcome to the second battle in the Polish Championship, Group A, between Orko and Mikel. Orko won the previous match with the Tomb Kings against the Lizardmen, so Mikel is under a bit of pressure here to win this one. Orko has brought the Greenskins against Mikel's Chaos. Let's see what Orko has for an army. He has brought the Crimson Killers, which is a devastating unit if it can get into combat unopposed. Now, against Chaos, there is a chance that might happen. They don't often bring Hell Cannons, they don't really have many missile units, but they do have a lot of creatures, which the Black Orcs may not be that good against. They have some scary magic as well, so they're an uncommon pick, but potentially a great one if they can just go face to face with infantry without taking too much damage prior to the engagement. Two more units of Black Orcs, a unit of Savage Orc Biggins guarding each flank with, big speed and good anti-large. I do like that. We also have the Rusty Heirs. Orko in the previous battle using the Blessed Legion of Bahak, now using the Rusty Heirs, which is basically the greenskin version of that unit. Armor Sundering Archers, very useful. He also has two Orc Airboys, which have decent armor piercing damage, guys. In case you're not aware, take a look. They have 6 armor-piercing missile damage, which is quite a lot for archers. Combine that with the Rusty Heirs armor debuff, and you've got a pretty scary archer combo here. The accuracy on these guys, not the best, but it's good enough for sure. We have Nasty Skulkers in the back here, defending them. And sneaky, we have Night Goblin Squig Hoppers here, which are some of the funniest units in the game, really, in my opinion. And there's certainly nothing to laugh at if they suddenly appear behind you and charge in your back, though, which is obviously what Orko has planned here with this Vanguard deployment. Now, these things, they're sort of like glass bullets. I say bullets because they smash into stuff and then they kind of explode. They have very good charge animations, so if you pull them out quickly enough, they can cycle charge really quickly. They don't take that much time doing that, actually, and their damage is actually very decent, especially against infantry with that armor piercing bonus versus infantry damage. So 10 bonus versus infantry means 37 damage in total with 33 melee attack. Add the charge bonus to that and you've got a whopping amount of damage there. Now against this, Chaos is bringing 2 Chaos Warhounds with poison deployed in the back there to disrupt that archer backline. Not a lot of mobile units here, so they may be able to sneak through. And for their infantry, they have 2 Chaos Warriors, 2 Aspiring Champions, going to give 8 leadership to all the units around them. They have Chaos Marauders, just, your regular chaff. They're not going to be too happy going up against those Black Orcs, that's for sure. We have some Chosen Halberds here as well, which is a decent pick because, Orcs may, or Greenskins I should say, shouldn't discriminate against the Goblins. They may bring stuff like the Ragnarok Queen or Trolls or other large targets. Not in this army though. Even Grimgore doesn't count as a large unit. So Halberds, bit of an unlucky pick here I would say, but there's plenty of anti-infantry damage here from these Chaos Giants. Also Sartorial with his charge animations can do quite a bit to infantry. Mikel has only brought one spell, just the Final Transmutation. Also Stand Your Ground, and the passive metal shifting, which is going to increase the damage of his entire army every time he casts a spell, which won't be much or many times because he only has one spell. And yeah, let's see how this battle evolves. The Giants, definitely a good counter against the Black Orcs if they can smash away at them without getting shot too much. So that's going to be the challenge in this battle. Last battle, Mikel lost because the Doom Guard were able to fire away, or the Ushabti, I should say, were able to fire away at his large units almost with impunity. This battle is going to have to do better. Now, on this flank, the Marauder Horsemen are coming in. They're going to chuck some axes at these Black Orcs, which is a decent thing. Of course, there's an instant response from the Airboys who do outrange them by how much exactly? By 70, actually. So yeah, you need some good micro, which Mikel is showing here. He got hit by a couple arrows, but for the most part, he manage to dodge, and when you have this skirmish gaff, you want to spend as much of those axes as possible for the main engagement. Because when they've spent their axes, they've already done a lot of their value, at least if they manage to hit good targets. Then you can start throwing them into melee. Like right here, there's a spot they could potentially get through to get to those archers, because the archers have seen the giants. It's obvious that's what they're gunning for. But I do get that he's not sending them right into the center here. He's throwing axes at the Black Orcs instead. Has to be careful of big uns here. Once again, microed away. But look at this. Quicks coming into the back line. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Mikel. He has nothing guarding his back line. He's trying to bring the Marauder Horseman back, though. Can he intercept these Quigs? Well, he's not charging them. He's just chucking axes at them. And now the Wa gets popped. Just as the Quigs charge. And look at this Chaos Warrior. It's getting absolutely smashed. Giant is getting killed by archers. Where are the dogs? The dogs are coming in a little bit late, I would say. I think a final transmutation is about to be thrown down here. Yep, there we go. So these Greenskins will now be suffering the wrath of the final transmutation, but I don't think they care. They've got this Chaos right flank completely surrounded, and they have managed to kill one giant. The left flank has fallen. The Squigs, look how fast they can reposition. It's beautiful. They're going into the back of these Alberts. Charge defense, of course, not working against that. They did take a big hammer to the face there from the giant, and you can see their health is dropping quickly. But they have managed to kill the Aspiring Champions and the Chaos Marauders both. Both of them not able to stand up to that full surround there. This unit of Black Orcs has barely taken any damage. Marauder Horsemen are chucking away their axes, trying to do as much as possible. In the back here, the Warhounds have gotten onto the Orc Archers, but Orc Archers can actually fight off Warhounds. It's still not a good engagement, because of course you want them firing. But yeah, with the help of these nasty Skulkers, the Warhounds are quickly chased away. Interestingly enough, there's no Spellcaster for the Greenskins, but it seems they're just fine without him. In this battle, at least. The Marauder Horsemen, they're throwing axes, but something about their animations and the way they aim seems to make it so they miss a lot of the time. Like if you look at the projectiles, some of these valuable axes actually going onto goblins, or I should say near goblins, because as you can see, they're not really killing any of them. Now another final transmutation has been thrown now. Sartorial is in combat with Grimgore. That is a fight Grimgore, of course, likes very much, and yeah, that was a short and brutal battle. I don't think I need to point out what went wrong there. The Chaos backline was exposed. They got charged in the rear. They did not manage to shut down the archers once again, which is essential if you use giants like this. The choice of not having a caster is slightly bizarre, if you ask me, but I do have to say that the rest of the army was pretty well thought out and executed by Orko here. One thing I think Sartorial could have done in this battle is maybe not pick the final transmutation. Because final transmutation, it's good in theory, but Greenskins may not be able to heal, but they don't often get in blobs. The best thing you can hope for is that you would get like an Ragnarok Queen and some hero that it's trying to guard, or a lord it's trying to guard, and then whatever other units are surrounding them with a final transmutation. Then it might be good, but mostly these Chaos forces were just outfought very hard, not just because of the flanking maneuver, and there wasn't a lot of pressure on the archers here either. So let's say Sartorial has Searing Doom, which is a bombard ability. He could do some good damage to these archers. And let's say he has Transmutation of Lead. He could decrease that melee attack from some of these critical units and support his infantry. But yeah, obviously the big problem here was leaving the backline open and the giants just getting shot to pieces. I'm going to record the next series now, the next match from Group A, most likely. So see you on the next video.